What's going on, Tamers? It's your boy Dan from DigiGuard Uniting, bringing you guys another regional meta snapshot. Today we got Latin America's April online regionals. This event had 128 players, 6 rounds of Swiss, and for our top 16, we got 3 Mirage, 3 Numon, 3 Leviamon, 2 Lugar, 2 Setcon. I feel like we haven't seen that in a bit, and same with Levi, which is kind of crazy. 1 Shine, 1 Wargray, 1 Davis. Interesting breakdown, way more diverse compared to the Raiden trades with 7 Mirages and not as many other decks. Let's jump right into it and look at these deck lists, with Mirage winning back-to-back events, because Mirage won this event as well. Let's look at the first place Mirage deck list. Shout outs to Augustin, good tempo. Got first place. Congrats to him winning it with Mirage. Man, I feel like I talk about the same thing when it comes to Mirage. You got your draw one, Galmon, your Goma. He decides to have the higher count of the Galmon, low count of Betamon, which is interesting. Your levels 4s are the same too. You always got your hybrid. You always got the 4-3 ratios of these Galgas. You always have the 1 restricted mock, the 3 of this mock, and then 3 Zudo. I feel like that's pretty standard. And then 4 1 split of the Mirages. Again, that's the usual count we see. And of course 3 burst mode. Interesting with his deck list, he chose no security bombs, and he went with 3 Hammer Spark. I wonder how much Hammer Spark came up. Hammer Spark doesn't get played much now in today's game as much, especially because we have all these effects like Blue Mem Boost, mental trainings. We have ways to gain memory off our Digimon like Mirages and stuff. So it's interesting to see this. Anybody doesn't know from old school game, old school Digimon from BT1 days all the way to, I don't know, let's see when this card died off. Maybe BT9-ish probably is when Melga, that Melga deck was probably the last one I really played it a lot, I think. Handspark just gained 1 memory for free, and then security effect gained 2 memories, so sometimes you can steal a turn with it. Pretty interesting that. I wonder how many times, I should say, it popped up a security for him and people were just like what the hell, you know? Interesting to see. An oldie but goodie, right? And then your split of Thomas's 3 and 2. Usually you see the 3-3 split, but it is what it is, especially since he's running the Hammer Sparks. And this man decided to run a variety of eggs, right? He got 2 Wanya, of course the 1 Buka, and he's running the 1 Demi V. So I'm gonna have at least 1 of each of good blue eggs to play with. Next, we'll look at the 5th place Mirage list. Sebastian Gonzalez, 5th place Mirage Galgamon list. Again, it's pretty much the same. Actually, hold up. This is exactly the same. I wonder if they're friends. Because this is basically, yeah, this is exactly the same list. Nothing to talk about then, really, you know. Same exact list. Again, he's running the Handspark too. The only difference is the eggs. Whoop-de-doo, right? Like, nothing crazy. So, congrats to him for getting 5th place. Next, we got Aramis Gomez. If I butcher your names in this, I apologize ahead of time. He also has Mirage, and he's playing basically the same thing. He's running more Betamon in this version. 1 Lanamon, 3 and 4 split of Galga. Again, your low 5s is the same level 6, same level 7. Instead of Hammer Spark, he's running Full Moon Meteor Impact, which most Mirage lists run at least 2 of it. Then the 3-4 split, and then 3-3 Thomas split. 3 and 1 egg seems like the go-to ratios for that. Next we have is Abel Yantoros, 2nd place Numon. He is running purple Numon in this. Again, this is another deck that feels like it's been solved, and we've talked about this a lot already. Especially purple version, you got your 4 Gobble, 4 Uko, the 1 Gobble X, and 2 Gazi. You got the same exact Numon lineup for Gary. Instead of the 4 Numon, he's running 4 Rush, he's running 3 and only 1 on deletion. I can see that he's running more Tamers. That's why, compared to other purple lists. Same exact level 5 lineup, same exact level 6 lineup that we've been seeing, and the same exact level 7 lineup. Dan Bang, you know, he won with 3-4 Omnizord defeats for purple list, and every purple list basically runs this now, this package. And for options, 1 Protoform as of course, 2 Sasuke. And like I mentioned before, he's running less Numon because he's running 1 Digimon Emperor and 1 Louis. Digimon Emperor for the mirror match, it can be very clutch. For any other gold low decks like Red Hybrid, stuff like that as well. And then the Louis, this can also be a loot for game. Essentially, play this card, move one of your low 3s or higher Digimon from your breeding area to a battle area, and when one of your Digimon does, gain a memory, which is super good. So again, it's another way if you get a late game to close out games if you don't have Numon for Rush, right? It's pretty cool. But not much to talk about this deck as well. Congrats to him for getting 2nd, like I mentioned before. Next we have Roberto Solis, Ryo's 8th place Numon. He's going black base. He's not running the Alku package. He's going full Floodgate. So 4 Uko, 1 Pillow, 3 Chu, 3 Greymon. And again, champion lineup, 4 of each of these 3 important cards of the deck. 2 on deletion, Numon. Low 5 lineup, the same. Mozzie X, Mozzimon, and War Mozzie. He's running 1 less than usual. He probably is running something more of somewhere else, which I can see already with the options. 1 Venus, 3 Platinum, 2 Azulong, 1 Dex. He's only running 1 level 7. Then you got double Heaven's Judgment, spicy. Security bomb's pretty good, and obviously his on play effect is just as good, being able to neg 18 probably pretty easily, I would say. Potentially 24 with Azulong or Dexmon or something like that, getting that extra color in. Also running 2 Protoform. I guess he wants to see the Protoform as much as possible, or more than just the 1 of. And then 3 Sasuke and then 2 Louis, being able to play 2 of those. Another, again, like I mentioned before, Louis could be a loot for game, raise an egg, and swing for game sometimes as well. Louis plus Uko, game 1, turn 0, I should say. Digivolve to Uko, play Louis, effect, raise to Uko, suspend Louis. Your opponent starts at 1 instead of like maybe 3, which is pretty cool. Being able to choke him early on is super needed sometimes, especially in a mirror match. If you can choke in the mirror match early on, you get the instant advantage sometimes. And of course, for Suno, he's running, what is this? The Kyokyomon from BT15. Inherit the opponent's turn once per turn when a Digimon becomes unsuspended. Draw 1. I guess that you can use that for Zulamon for yourself at least, because I believe it unsuspends. On play, when Digimon return one of your opponent's level 5 or lower Digimon to the hand, then unsuspend one of your Digimon with the day was 4 grade. Yeah, so you can unsuspend himself at least. And of course, if whatever else they unsuspend, so on their unsuspend phase, you can draw 1 as well. It's not bad. It's interesting, right? Next we got the 16th place Numon, Federico Matavo's 16th place deck. He's running black base as well. His rookie lineup is also different, which is cool to see. For Uko as always, and Chumon at 3 is the usual too when it comes to black base. But he's running 4 Doromon. This is the security effect promo. Doromon running at 4, which you try to see as much as possible in security. It's pretty good effect. So effect is at the end of the battle, reveal the top card of your deck. That card is a black Digimon card with a play cost 4 or less, which is probably most of this deck, right? You can play it for free, and then add this card to your hand, basically. So if you whiff on it, you can add that card to your hand and add a Doromon. So it's a +2 if you think about it like that, or it's a free play, or you can even get crazier, right? Effect, reveal a Greymon. Greimon's effect, trash 1, draw 2, and then add Doromon. So you think about it like a +3 and a trash one, which is crazy if you think about it like that. He's getting a little spicier than your usual new one. He's running the one BT15 Greymon. This is a cool effect. You just kind of don't need it sometimes. I think it depends on the build. It combos well with Venusmon, I think. So let's talk about it real quick. So on play, on deletion, by trashing one card with Numon, Sukumon in its name, one of your opponent's Digimon gains Sec Attack -1. So it's not bad. He's also named as Numon. Inherited, when attacking, one of your opponent's Digimon gets Sec Attack +1. So if you have Venusmon on board, and even if Venusmon swinging after Venusmon's effect is used up, you could always have that Sec Attack -1, and they're locked out of when Digivolving, and I believe it's when attacking effects as well. Can't attack the Digimon, and can't activate when attacking and with Digivolve effects. Yeah, so you could do a little combo with that, which is pretty cool. Again, your low fives, the same. 4 Monzi X, 2 War, 4 Monzimon. He's running a 1 higher count of Platinumon than your usual because he's not running a Zulamon, it looks like. Yep, he's not. 3 Venus, 1 Death X, and 2 Rumo. Interesting. 1 Heaven's Judgment, 1 Extended Proto, 2 Sasuke, and 1 Louis. Like I mentioned again, the Louis can be clutch. And your usual X, 4 Suno, 1 Toko. Different egg as previously. This one's unleash as your opponent's turn, draw 1. So it's another way to draw 1. It's not bad, especially they like to delete your Digimon. You want to get a free draw sometimes. That's that. Next we'll go into, yeah boy, Kevin Juarez's 3rd place ShineGreymon. Love this deck. So aggro, just, you know, get rid of your opponent's security. GG, no re, right? This deck is pretty not much has changed for Shine since, you know, BT13. You're gonna run your 4 Agu that can make Marcus into a Digimon. He's running red base, so he's running Agu X at 4 of. He's running 4 the Searcher Agu that grabs a Greymon and Marcus. He's running, of course, the restricted GeoGray. He's running the GeoGray EX4 at 1. I see why, because he's running 3 GeoGreymon from the starter deck. So this is the one that has security at the end of battle. You can play the Digimon while paying its cost, and I'll play delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 4K or less. So potentially other champion level Digimon like Numon, you can be deleting. Other floodgates or something that could be detrimental to your gameplay at that moment. And of course, your BT12 GeoGreymon being played, your Marcus free, you always gotta run as a 4. And of course, inherited. 4 of BT13 Rise is a must. And then the rest is up to you. I feel like he's running 7 total. So 2 Rise Gray X. Again, another way to play a tamer for free. And then be able to neg your opponent for every tamer you have by 2K. It's pretty good. And the 1 of BT12 Rise Gray. When did you run yellow red tamer, you gain a memory. Plus this with training card, it could be potentially free, which is pretty cool. And then of course BT12 Shine Gray, and he's going the more aggro version, as you can see, with no Rumo. He's not even running the BT13. He just wants this Shine Gray guaranteed to see at all times. I wonder how many times he made a wish he had a 5th, but I can understand why. And then 3 burst mode. Have that consistency of seeing it. I like having 2 1 split, 2 burst mode, and 1 room mode for me personally, because room mode is also a closer sometimes, and you just stop your opponent from doing plays a lot of times. And in this deck, it's a free Evo sometimes, or a 4 cost Evo, so you can be able to swing much easier than other decks and be able to do a neg 10k on board and activate the on deletion as well. The end of attack, I should say, which is pretty cool sometimes. And for options, he is running 1 Crimson Blaze. This meta, you gotta run, if you're running red, you gotta run Crimson Blaze at some number. 2 Red Men Boost, 4 offense training. I feel like it's a must. He's going more consistent than others I've seen. Usually in this spot sometimes is the other option, like the Final Shining Burst that negs 12, and then you can play it Marcus. So potentially neg 15. And of course, your 4 and 4 split of Marcus. It's gotta be that, right? And your 5 Koromon eggs. This is the one that when a red Digimon attacks, removes opponent's security stack, draw 1. So consistency of red is it's probably better than your yellow version, at least. Next we have Kevin Saiz, 4th place Lugamon. Sorry again if I butcher your name. Lugamon is pretty standard at this point, I feel like. Your 8 Lugas, your usual line of 4-2-2 of the 2 Lugars and Tyrannomon. I feel like that's the usual. You see the Fangmon sometimes you see Black Auto and Black Auto Uber. Black Auto Uber is a card you can sometimes play for free and affect on play by returning 1 Digimon card from your opponent's trash to the bottom of your deck. Draw 1. So stopping your like Numon plays, you can stop, put their Platinum Numon underneath, and they can't bring that back if Numon X dies. Versus the Leviamon matchup, if you bottom deck the Leviamon, can be very clutch as well. There's many uses for the Black Auto Uber, and of course, you gotta run 4 Lugar, 4 Sulugar, and 2 Chimera. Chimera is a way to potentially go for game as well, and of course 4 Fenrir. Interesting, this person is running 1 room mode. I wonder how much this comes up because the whole deck is just set up your Fenrir Lugamon and go for the OTK. And then he's running 2 purple men boosts, 4 wisdom, and of course your 8 trainers of trainers. Wow, tamers. I'm sorry. I don't know why I even said trainers. Jesus, this ain't Pokemon. This is Digimon, a better franchise. Anyways. 4 IG and 4 Analog U is a must. Gotta have it. Again, I wonder how much this room mode really came up from because I'm just looking at it. I feel like a lot of lists go for like a red option nowadays with the Crimson Blaze or even a delicate plan for their decks. And of course, you have 4 Leviamon because it's the only rookie you'll ever play in this deck. Next, we have the 7th place Leviamon deck. Emiliano's Cardozo's 7th place Luga deck. Again, basically the same exact thing. The only difference is he's running a delicate plan in Crimson Blaze. Like I mentioned before, I feel like I see this more in Fenrir Lugamon decks nowadays than did previously because of the type of meta we're in. And he is running the same low 3s, of course. The ratios for low 4s are pretty much the same outside of 1 extra purple red Lugarmon. Yeah, and everything else is basically the same, right? You have your 4 Lugar, 4 Sulugar, the 1 Chimera, 2 purple men boosts, 4 wisdom training, and the 8 tamers that you always have to play in this deck. Congrats to him. Next, we got Alejandro's Velarde, 6th place Leviamon deck. Again, how I usually like to talk about the decks is, whatever placed the highest and talk about that same deck and then so on. So that's why we're seeing this 6th place deck now. We haven't seen Leviamon pop up in a regional ulti cup in a little bit, so it's kind of cool to see him back because this was like the little bit boogeyman of the deck, boogeyman of the formats in the beginning. And then Numon was like, nah, fam, I'm probably the best deck in the format. And then that's why I like long formats, right? And different formats from JP because we see different things from the start to the end, right? We're seeing more Mirage wins nowadays than we did in the beginning. Numon's been consistent. We're seeing Leviamon kind of fall out of meta a little bit, right? This time we have 3, so it's cool to talk about it again. And let's dive more into it now. So Levi just wants to, trash the Levi, be able to digivolve for free or play for free. Levi X2, be able to go into it with your X antibodies and be able to delete your opponent's board as much as possible, right? I feel like this is a pretty standard list of what I've seen in all the Leviamons. You want your Gaborimons because you can once per turn when your effects trash the card from your hand, gain 1 memory. You're doing that a lot. You're doing a lot of drawing, a lot of trashing to facilitate your Levi plays. You got the 3 Gabumon to starter deck, starter main. If your opponent has a Digimon, gain a memory. Inherited when attacking, draw 1, trash 1. Got Gobble X for searches and the protection if you needed. 2 Gazimon and then 1 Gizamon. On play until the end of your opponent's turn. One of their Digimon gains on deletion, lose 1 memory. Inherited all turns once per turn. When an effect plays an opponent's Digimon, gain 1 memory. So a way to set up your plays to gain more memory. If you playing like, what is it called, Bite and Crush, maybe you can gain a memory off of it with Izamon or something. If you're doing all that in one turn, like you do a little something, right? And then of course the 1 Guilmon. This is usually your closer type of card, rush for game, because you're gonna have 20 cards in both trash with no problem. Your champion lineup is pretty on point from where every deck I've seen. You have your 4 Cerberus X's. My fault. 4 Doberman X anybody. So effect on play, one of your Digimon gains retaliation. When Digivolving, draw 1, trash 1. If you have Doberman or X anybody, you get to get the on play as well. So the stack will have retaliation if they decide to swing at it or something, which is pretty cool. Being able to have that sometimes. Then you have 3 Garurumon. This is the draw 1, trash 1, and then Inherited is also draw 1, trash 1. You got your Garuru X. 2 Octomon. This card allows you to play a token, a Fujitsu token on your opponent's side to set up your Levi plays, to be able to play Levi from trash if needed, or even to go into the Levi X play. You could do a lot of shenanigans with this card. And then Inherited when an effect plays on opposed Digimon, gain 1 memory. So that definitely combos with the Dragomon. And Dragomon's on play when Digivolving, your opponent plays 1 level 4 lower Digimon card from their trash, suspended without paying the cost. And on play effects don't activate. And then all turns once per turn, when an effect plays an opponent's Digimon, you may play 1 purple Digimon card with a level less than or equal to it from your trash without paying the cost. You could do a lot of combos. You do some shenanigans where you can play maybe the Guilmon to gain that rush or something if you need it. You can play the Gizamon to gain that on play on deletion. Lose a memory on your opponent's Digimon. You could do some stuff with it if you need to. And then 4 Cerberus X, this allows you to play a level 3 Digimon. So same concept onto from trash. And then when Digivolve and draw 1, trash 1. So if you have X anybody, and then you gain both effects. Inherited when attacking by deleting one of your other Digimon on suspend. So being able to do 2 checks with this or 3 checks with this, and then unsuspend, swing again. This gets crazy. They can OTK pretty fast sometimes. And of course, I feel like this is always the splits, the 3-3 split of the Levi and Levi X. Levi on play, when Digivolve and your opponent has as many or more total Digimon or Tamers as you, delete one of your opponent's highest, then delete one of their lowest. So that's why in Levi never plays Tamers. So you can have this effect pretty live most times. And then you got your Levi X that can pop a Tamer. And then it can pop, pops opponents level 3, 5, and 7. And then the option card, 7 Lightning, gets the 4 and 6s. So that combo right there lets you just delete everything, which is kind of crazy. And he's able to swing 3 checks. He gets second attack +2. He's swinging 14k, so he's a big body as well. And he got the 1 room mode if you need to go into the room mode. I don't know how frequently this pops up for Levi decks, but it's there if you need it. And 2 7 Lightning, 2 Biting Crushes, which is interesting. I feel like 7 Lightning could be higher. I wonder how often he saw it, or maybe he didn't see it, how consistent it was for him, stuff like that. Because I feel like I see this card at like 3 usually. I've seen it at 4 definitely. I know that for a fact. And interesting enough, he's running 4 Protoform. He doesn't even care about the OG X antibody. He's just going with the Protoform. This again reduces the Evo cost and then of your X antibody Digimon. So it reduces cost for Cerberus X if you need it. So it goes from a cost 2 to a 1. Cerberus X will be a 2 cost as well. And be able to recycle pieces as well if the stack dies for whatever reason, and especially Guru X potentially, since it's a 1-of, you could recycle that as many times as possible if needed. or anything else really. No World Siegemon. I just realized World Siegemon I feel like is a important card in the deck. At least a one of, because like what it does for the deck, I feel like it gives that aggression that's needed to be able to pop your Levi effects. Maybe that's something that only they use with the old X Antibody, but I'm not 100% sure about that. And finally, your 3 Pro Members and 4 Wisdom Trainings. Pretty sure that's the standard. Always have those 7 to 8 of that. And then 4 eggs of Numon. This is the BT6 version. So when you trash a card in your hand using one of your effects, you draw one. So another way to draw cards in this deck. Pretty cool. Next, we have the 11th place Levi. See, I already see it. He has the War Siegemon and the old school X Antibody card. But let's look at the list real quick before we jump into them. 4 Goblimon, 2 Gazi, 3 Gabu, 1 Gabu X. And he's opting to play, the Siyakumon. So this effect is on play for each of your opponent's Digimon, draw 1, then trash 1 card in your hand. So if they have multiple Digimon, if they have 2 Digimon, you draw 2, trash 2. So they can set up your trash quickly, especially in a Numon meta where they can go wide pretty fast, and you play this out for free off the Cerberus X or Dragomon or something. You could, get a lot of draw and trashing going. And then inherit effect, when an effect plays an opponent's Digimon, gain a memory. So you could do that with Octomon, combo that with it or something. Be a cheaper Evo for that too, if you think about it, which is pretty cool. 3 Octo, 4 Cerberus X, Dobra X, I keep getting confused. 2 Garurumon. Interesting. I feel like that's probably a 3/4 of in this deck to get that cycle going. 1 Dragomon, mentioned before, 4 Cerberus X, and then the 2 World Siegemon, like I mentioned earlier. Surprised that the other list didn't play it, but here we are, right? All turns, once per turn, when an effect plays an opponent's Digimon until the end of the turn, all of their Digimon gain on deletion, lose 1 memory. When attacking, your opponent plays 1 low 4 lower Digimon card from their trash, suspended without paying a cost, and on play effects don't activate. Then you may switch the target of this attack to that Digimon. So yeah, it's something that I guess if you're going to play this, you want combo this with X Antibody to be able to go into Levi X and trash for free, and then like activate all the on deletion effects and stuff, because War Siegemon is a when attacking effect. So that kind of makes sense. He's going 4 Levi X, 3 Levi, 1 of Room Mode, 2 7 Lightning, 2 of the old X Antibody. This is the one that when attacking you can digivolve into X Antibody. So you do go into War Siegemon, activate effect to make them play Digimon. Effect of Levi, you don't really need the effect, honestly, because this effect is trash. All turns when an effect plays an opponent's Digimon or Tamer, when you're Levi or Digimon with X Antibody in it, and the source is made digivolve into this without paying the cost, which is pretty crazy. But you can also, if you have it in your hand and you can't trash, you can also digivolve from your hand as well for the cost though. So that'd be 5 instead, unless it's over Leviamon. 2 Biting Crush, and then 2 Protoform, 2 Permanent Boost, and 4 Wisdom Training. 6 to 8 of these is always a must in this deck because you want to see your pieces as soon as possible. Next we have the 12th place Leviamon, Omar Velarde. He's going with a similar package as the first Levi deck. No War Siegemons. He is running the attack X Antibody, the first one. So when attacking, you gain the effect. No War Siegemon, like I mentioned. He's now running no Siyakumon either. He's running 2 Gizamon. The same lineup besides Gizamon, basically the same lineup as your champion, and same lineup, especially the first Levi with the low 5s and the 3/3 split plus room mode. I guess they must always play room mode. All right, my fault. Room mode is a must at 1 of 2 7 Lightning, 2 Biting Crush. Again, I guess that's the wave nowadays. Going 2 and 2 split, and then 3 Proto, and then 3 to 4 Mem Boost and Wisdom Training. And of course, your Sunamon Egg. Nice. Next we got is 10th place Setcon from Jorge Calvo. Yeah, it's Setcon. Like, you just do things and you just recover and you just let your opponent not win the game, but you're sitting there and maybe attacking because you got Gallimon in this deck. Got six low threes, no champion, so he's not running the Airjamon tech. He's playing the I just realized he's playing the Viximon. So for the options, you gain a memory or draw one. Yeah, draw one when you play an option with 2 costs or more, and then the Upa when attacking, if you have 3 for your security, draw one. I'm surprised it's not 4 Magna Angel Ace, because that card is cracked in this deck. I feel like 4 of the old school Magna, so both recover 1. Let's see, we got Shao Sarafi at 3, 2 Azulong, 1 Avenged Kid, 1 BT13 Gallants. I like BT13 Gallant. For me personally, if I ever played Setcon, which I probably would never, I 100% am playing Gallimon because it gives you that low 6 that could be potentially played for free at times, especially in a deck in a game that's going to be drawn out. So it's going to be a lot of cards in trash. So I think it would be pretty easy to play. And then you just over here, just controlling board, killing anything that's 6k or lower, 13k or higher if you don't have the 6k. And you just keep on swinging until it dies, basically. And then 2 Death X. Looks like he's running a more heavier count of options than like Peter's World Champions version. He has the Holy Wave, the old school recover +1 for 6, 3 Lonky, 3 Revelations, 1 Reinforcing, 1 Wyvern's Breath, 4/4 split of the Flame Hell Scythe and the Chaos Deck. Flame Hell Scythe brings back in Magna Andras, Pillowmon and Salamon if you need it. He's running Laments. Lament can grab you any Digimon, which is cool. So you can grab at the Death X. You can grab at Gallimon if you need to, or Avenged Kid if you need to, which is pretty cool. 4 Kari, of course. 2 TK and Kari, of course. 2 Kari, the memory setter one, and then when you recover 1, you gain 1. I feel like that's your normal tamers, and then Digimon Emperor has become the norm for Setcon. Not much to it besides that, right? It's Setcon, we all know what it does. Next we got Kevin Diaz's 15th place Setcon. This deck is a little bit different. Okay. Oh, I just realized that Setcon player was not playing Venusmon. That's usually a card that gets played a lot, I feel like. 6 rookies as per usual. The 7 Magna Andras. He's playing Wisemon. Interesting. So this card says on play, you're never going to do the When Digivolve effect, obviously. When Digivolving. So when you hard play for 6, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Add 1 purple or black Digimon card among to your hand and place the rest at the bottom, the top or bottom. So you can stack your deck however you want if you need to. He's running the Gallimon. He's also running 4 Shao Sarafi, and he's running is that the old school? Yeah, it is the old school Digimon. For anyone who doesn't know what this card does, it is when Digivolve, both players trash the top 5 cards of their deck. And then on deletion, if you have Tamer in play, you may play 1 level 6 Digimon card with Gallimon's name from your hand or trash. So you're able to play this Gallimon for free potentially off the Digimon, which is pretty cool. I mean, Gallimon can also play itself for free potentially, but Digimon helps fuel that faster, I would say. And then Digimon can be a blocker for Wisemon, because Wisemon's inherited is blocker. Then you got the 1 Venus, 2 Death X. For options, looks like 4 Lonkies, 2 Revelations, 1 Reinforcing, 1 Wyverns, 1 Calling to be able to grab back the Digimon, I would assume, or even force the deletion to play the Gallant if needed. 4 Flame Hellside and 4 Chaos Deck, per usual. He's playing the TK that searches security instead, the 1 of. 4 Kari, of course. 3 TK and Kari, 2 Digimon Emperor. His egg lineup is 4 Upa and 1 Vixie instead of the other one, which is interesting. Again, this one's a little bit different. This feels more, I want to say aggressive kind of, because you're not just kind of sitting there. You can kind of do more than your average Setcon decks, I feel like, especially with Digimon. Next we have is Oliver Leo's 13 plays Greymon. Always great to see a Greymon deck in top 16. There is a lot of one-ofs in this deck. This deck is all over the place. Wow, we have, what is this? Damn. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 one-ofs. Holy crap. I wonder how well that did for him. That's so crazy to see. Yeah, let's just dive into it. He's running, of course, you gotta run forward as Agumon. This is probably one of the best Agumons in this game currently. Your Agu X's, which is at 3, which is crazy. And then 2 Searcher. Wow, this man is brave, I feel like. Holy crap. And then the 1 Gatsumon, I guess for the Numons and Leviamon matchups. Yeah, this is a crazy rookie lineup to me. As someone who plays Greymon a lot. And then his champion lineup is kind of crazy too. 2 of the BT5 Greymon, so when did you evolve into Digimon has Agumon's name and sources gain of memory, and then inherited plus 2k. Of course, this Gray X, of course, 3 Gray X of this one, so that's your usual. 2 BT12, so this lets you play a tie if you don't have one, and then all turns plus 1k, and then just the once second attack plus 1. So this version is just Greymon power deck, and it's not even, you're not focusing on one top end Greymon. So this is a jack of all trades type, you know, master of none type of thing. And even his ultimate lineup is looking like that. He's running 2 Milgray X, 3 Milgray BT12, 1 Alterous, and 1 BT8 Greymon. I'm sure at this point we all know what these cards do. This lets you raid and play a tamer for free if you need to. And then his levels, and then your Alterous, it gives you the protection, another line of protection, and pops a 6k. And then this BT8 Greymon, Digivolve 1, and then delete a 3k or lower, and inherited, can attack over unsuspended Digimon. His level 6 lineup is just as crazy. Oh my god, I could never play this deck right here. As someone who plays Greymon, like, I gotta have more than 2 of a level 6. He's like, all right, bet, whatever I see type of thing. One War Gray X for the War Greymon, I'm assuming, obviously. And he got 1 Black War Greymon, 1 Black War Greymon X. One of those things, again, if you see it, you see it. If you don't, you don't, I guess. I don't know. Kind of crazy. And then 1 Omni X, 1 Blitz Omni. That's usual, I feel like. And then his option lineup. Man, 1 Gravity Crush. I feel like Gravity Crush doesn't get played too often in Greymon decks, but it's a surprise to see it here for me. Only 1 Hades Force. Hades Force is such a crack card still. Crimson Blaze, it's a red deck. We're in a format that goes wide and likes to play Digimon effects, so it's always good to have. 2 X Antibody, no Protoform. This one, I think for Greymon decks, this X Antibody is a better X Antibody. And then 5 total boost, 3 red memory, and then 2 offense training. I feel like offense training is probably more important than a red mem boost. I would have at least this at 3 and that one at 2, but I guess he likes it like that. I don't know. And then his tamers, 1 Yuya, 3 Tai, and then 3 Cool Boy. Glad to see Cool Boy back. I feel like because of this tie, a lot of Greymon players decide to not play Cool Boy, but Cool Boy is still such a good card for it. Be able to draw, to search, grab an X Antibody and an X Antibody in name is always good to have, and then being able to have the draw 1, gain 1 memory when you evo on the same level, always good to have. And then finally for his X, running 5 X, 4 of the BT5 Koromon, so when attacking draw 1, and then the BT14 Koromon that when your opponent loses security, draw 1. Yeah, this deck is crazy looking to me. Next, finally, we have 14 plays Deva. And he's the funniest thing I noticed is he's running 2 Mother. He's like, I don't need the 4. This game never needs a 4th. The 3 and the 4 mother was pretty funny to see. This deck is different than your usual Devas. So I feel like this is your standard black Devas list. 3 dog, 3 chicken, turkey, whatever you want to call it, and then 2 of the monkey, as per usual. 1 of the bull, 1 pig is like up to debate, I think, at this point. Oh, and then he also is running the 1 rabbit too. You always gotta have at least 1 of each of your red ones. Of course, you're running the EX4 and Numon alliance is cracked in his deck with Mother. And the one thing I noticed, he's not running any of the blue ones, but he's running the OG Majiramon. So everybody just know this card came out of BT6. So its fact is when digivolving, irrelevant because you never digivolve in this deck. But its inherited is what's important. When attacking once per turn, if your opponent has no Digimon or Digimon cards in play, unsuspend this Digimon. So that means your sovereigns can swing 2 times, be able to swing 2 checks. If he is, I think he has the Deva trait as well. Can I see it? Nope. I can't tell if he has the Deva trait or not. I believe he does though. And if that's the case, you can digivolve your Zook over it. And this thing gets sec plus 1 when it deletes a Digimon that's 6k or lower or another Deva. So you can swing 2 checks, unsuspend 2 checks, which is kind of crazy. You can also swing your Fanglongmon if you decide to evo up from Majira to a Sovereign to Fanglong. And he's able to swing unsuspend, and when attacking for each of your Digimon with the 4 Sovereign trait, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. So if you have, again, a way to swing for 4 checks, technically, right? Swing, trash 1 check, unsuspend, swing 1, trash 1, check 1, right? And he's running, I wonder if this is a mistake, but this is the old school Baihumon, which is kind of crazy, the BT9 one. So when digivolving, so this one only can digivolve over black because it doesn't have black box of the Deva. When digivolving, unsuspend up to 2 Digimon and or Tamers, then gain 1 memory for each of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon Tamers. And in your turn, once per turn, for every 2 unsuspended Digimon and or Tamers your opponent has in play, trash 1 card from the top card of your opponent's security stack. So it's a way to trash security is always good. Again, I wonder how much this came up because this is also a 5 cost Evo, which is oof. I don't know. It used to be an alright card. I just don't know if it works well in this. But hey, he made top 16, so it probably came up a couple times for him. And then of course the 1 Mega Gargoyle. This is like the new staple in the deck. Over the Ace Ibanu. I feel like this is what they replaced it with nowadays. And Dexmon. Sometimes some decks run it, some decks don't. I've seen a couple decks run the Death decks. It's a good card. It can be thrown into anything as a removal. And if he really wanted to, he can digivolve over Sukao and the Ibanu because they're purple. And Baihumon because it's black. And same with Mega Garber. So he can evo it pretty easily too as well. Which is pretty crazy. 2 Heaven's Judgment. I think Heaven's Judgment is a crack card for Devas because you get basically every single color on board and just neg everything on board, which is so crazy to me. I'm surprised more lists don't run this, but I can understand why. Of course, you're gonna have 4 of each of your options. There's no debate at this point. 2 Gen 9, 2 analog use. Again, that's up to the player, what they want for their tamer lineup as well. So yeah, congrats to him for 14th place, and congrats to all 16 players that made top 16 for Latin America regional. And again, if you like these meta snapshots, give us a like, subscribe to us, and you can see more content from us. And so until we talk to you guys next time, peace out.